Hello again, welcome back to Music Impossible. This is AP Music Theory, and I'm Professor Jim. This is Lesson 10, and we're going to get into key signatures, a couple of tricks, hints, and tips on how to identify key signatures, and then a little lesson, a short video after this one on the circle of fifths. Let's go over here to Sibelius and start examining some of these key signatures. And before we get into the actual key signatures themselves, let's talk about the order of sharps and flats. So we have the order of flats, kind of a really good mnemonic for this one is bead, the word bead, B-E-A-D, and then greatest common factor. You might remember that from math class. And so that's what I've always used to memorize the order of flats, bead, greatest common factor. And then when we look up here at the order of sharps, it's just the same thing, but backwards. We have F, C, G, D, A, E, B, the order of sharps. A couple of things to note about the order of sharps and flats is the distance between these. So if every time I add a sharp to the key signature, I'm going up a perfect fifth. F to C, perfect fifth. C to G, perfect fifth. We'll learn more about intervals down the road, and then G to D, and you get the idea. Every time I add a sharp, that sharp is up a perfect fifth from its neighbor, its prior neighbor. Flats are the same except in reverse. B down to E, we go down a perfect fifth from B flat to E flat to A flat, and so forth. We're going down a perfect fifth again, all the way through. Now let's start to examine these key signatures a little bit, and we see the first one is right there, and it's F sharp, and F sharp is going to be the key of G. Take a look at these sharp key signatures, and when we look at these, notice the order of sharps is evident here. The last sharp added as we go down the row, F, C, G, D, A, E, and then finally B there at the end. Now this first one is G major, and there's a really cool hint, tip, trick that we can do when it comes to identifying our sharp key signatures. And that trick is this. Go to the last sharp, in this case there's only one, it's F, and go up a half step. What's a half step up from F sharp? It's G, therefore we have G major key signature. Here our last sharp is a C sharp. So we're going to go up a half step. That's going to be the key of D. We keep going. There we have G sharp. G sharp, we're going to go up a half step from that. That's going to be the key of A. And as we go, we see D sharp is a half step from E. A sharp is a half step from B major. Let's see, we have E sharp. E sharp is a half step away from F sharp, right? E sharp, you might remember, is enharmonic with F natural. So we go up a half step from E sharp, that's F sharp. Same thing, we have B sharp right here, which is enharmonic with C natural. So up a half step from B sharp is going to be C sharp. So those are your major keys as we go down. And just like as we went through the order of sharps as being a perfect fifth apart, guess what? So are the keys. G to D, up a perfect fifth. D to A, up a perfect fifth, and all the way down the row. Now what about our flats? Let's go ahead and throw our flats up here so we can see all of those. And there we go. So now we're in bead, greatest common factor, B-E-A-D-G-C-F. So as we add a flat, we have a B flat. The last flat, now the next one is an E flat, A, D, G, C, and F here on the last one. So we have an F flat down here on the last one. Let's take a look at these flat key signatures. The first one you kind of have to memorize. It's just F major. So that one you just have to know. Know that one flat is F major. Now there's a trick we can use to identify the rest of these, kind of like the sharps. With the flats, we're going to go to the last flat. In this case, it's an E flat right there. And we're going to go back one flat. I'm going to go back one flat to that B flat right there. That is the key signature. Go back one flat. That's the key signature. Here you have A flat is the last flat. We're going to go back one. There we have the E flat right there. Yep, E flat major. Back one flat, we have A flat major here. Back one flat is D flat. Then finally we get to G flat and C flat major. So let's look at our enharmonic key signatures, just like the scales we showed you last time. B and C flat are enharmonic. We have a little crisscross pattern here. F sharp here is enharmonic right above each other with G flat. And then our C sharp is enharmonic with this over here, our D flat, okay? So there's our enharmonic key signatures right there. So we have 15 key signatures altogether, but we only see 14 here. That's because we didn't talk about no sharps or flats. And that's, of course, C major would have no sharps or flats. All right, everybody, good job. Let's check out the Circle of Fifths video next. Couple of worksheets coming up to close out week number 3.